This video was recorded during the COVID-19 lockdown. Due to technical issues, its release was delayed. We extend our sincere gratitude to all the guests who participated and apologize for the postponement. Please note that the views expressed by the host and guests reflect their opinions at the time of recording and may differ from their current perspectives.
So today's guest is a former roommate of mine. We studied in the same grad school, and we also share a love for movies. She's a development communications professional with an avid interest in movies, travel, food, and a big dream of starting a travel food vlog someday. And our favorite movie character is Wall-E from Wall-E. So welcome, Cecelia.
Thank you. It's great to be here talking about films. As you know, Subin and I have spent a lot of time in our apartment watching really silly films. So I'm looking forward to talking and hopefully embarrassing Subin a little bit as well.
Right, this is not about embarrassing me. This is about embarrassing you. Right? I'm inviting like so-called movie lovers testing their depth of knowledge of movies. And कतिको deep answer दिन्छ, कतिको movie गर्न थाहा छ कि थाहा छैन, कतिको witty छ, like sort of exposing all of them. So it's about embarrassing you.
I'm pretty sure I'll be embarrassed. I'm someone who watches a lot of films, but I tend to forget them as well. I'm sure down the line I'm gonna have Alzheimer's.
That's your excuse. That's your excuse. Okay. But one movie that I remember watching with you was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Where instead of watching the movie, you and Pratap were just like, Pratap is our roommate. Khali New York better ki Boston better मात्रै गफ गरिरहेको थियो. Movie चाहिँ हेरे हैन.
I paid attention. Come on.
Both of you were in a mood पनि त्यति बेला हैन, but it was just like हैन New York मा यो छ हैन Boston मा यो छ अनि म चाहिँ I'm trying to sort of figure it out. Okay. So let's start with Wall-E. Why is Wall-E one of your favorite characters?
I watched this एकदमै पहिला Wall-E आएको पनि 2008 मा हो के अरे. I personally love animated films, especially Pixar ko films. I don't know if you know about Hayao Miyazaki भन्ने. He's a Japanese film animator. But they're simple stories and animated films, but कस्तो depth छ के तिनीहरुमा. Animated movies are meant to be for kids. That's what everybody says. But then even adults really tend to enjoy them. अब introduction मा भने Inside Out को बारेमा है. Reviews में त्यसको when I read it was this is the film for adults. I don't think a kid can really understand all the complex emotions in this film.
True.
So Wall-E मा पनि it's very very futuristic, but then it's a simple story about this robot who's left behind on Earth to clean all the Earthको junk. And just it's such an adorable character, and in many ways more human than even a human is. त्यहाँको charactersहरुमा humans have gone off
in that particular world,
Yeah, it's so adorable. कस्तो त्यो अब it's a robot that develops human emotions. Just how they've animated the character and the emotions that they've developed for the character. It's so adorable, okay? And it's so endearing. So I really love it.
Yeah, I think my memory of watching Wall-E was that I was recently introduced to all these Pixar movies. पहिला त्यो DVD collection पाउँथे नि हैन, त्यसमा चाहिँ सबै movies हेरे, A Bug's Life, Cars, सबै एकैचोटी सबै हेरे, Toy Story 1, 2 हैन 3 त आथेन त्यति बेला. त्यसपछि नयाँ movie आयो यो भनेर हेरे. अल्छी लाग्यो है सुरुको पार्ट. मेरो भाइले हेरिसकेको थियो, एकदम दामी छ भनेको थियो, लगे दामी त होला नि त भनेर हेरे. हेरिसकेपछि चाहिँ राम्रो लाग्यो obviously हैन, एकदमै deep feel पनि भयो and त्यो especially the climate change aspect of it.
Yeah.
But because I wasn't very woke at that point of time, throughout the love story angle, I was like, who's the guy, who's the girl? त्यो खालको थियो कि मलाई दिमागमा हैन. So त्यो अलिकति in a way spirited away खालको जस्तो was very sort of similar. Obviously दुईटाको अलिकति connection छ हैन, but more spirited away love story भन्दा नि was about the relationship होला हैन. I guess everybody interprets it differently, but त्यति बेला चाहिँ मलाई त्यो feel भएको थियो. And certainly त्यो point of time मा movie हेर्दाखेरि जस्तो ending चाहिँ ठिक लागेको थियो, satisfying लागेको थियो, but हेरुन्जेल चाहिँ I was throughout the movie confused and पछि फेरि second time अलि woke भइसकेपछि हेरेपछि चाहिँ ओहो खतरा movie भनेर
Yeah, true. Oh, the climate change aspect you brought up, that was like, I think 2008 for an animated movie to sort of touch on that subject was, I think, it's commendable. And just like the raw emotions between like two robots and like how it's hard to like form a love story between two robots, and they do it so like beautifully. Okay, so I appreciated that.
When I think of it, without taking into consideration gender, any form of identity, and just about two people or robots, like, it was really nice. So it's a nice film to sort of introduce yourself in context ko lagi. So talking about Wall-E and Pixar and Hayao Miyazaki as well. Well, recently Princess Mononoke Ani, I was blown away. I was like, oh damn, dark characters and nobody is good. So apart from like Wall-E, any other movies that have sort of stayed with you?
I mean, mostly genre-wise, I really enjoy animated films, I think. Not just the recent ones, even if you go all the way back to like Disney classics. It was just like for the fun of it, and cartoons. But I've been revisiting all those Disney classics. And you notice so many minute details and like, how the story develops, and like you think, oh my god, what the detail is, Alice in Wonderland, especially as an adult.
Not the live action version, Purani animated version,
The first Disney one. Even the new live action ones are like good, but like obviously the classic one, I could say Alice in Wonderland, 2D cartoon.
Okay.
And you mentioned Miyazaki, of course. Like I've watched, I would say at least 80% of his.
Okay.
They are like so layered. The world is so rich. Animation, minute details are okay. Miyazaki film, you take a picture of it, like a screenshot. You can just admire like just the detail in animation, like kati focus gaira cha ke. I was watching school interview and he was talking about like if I'm like drawing a crowd, I'll make sure I draw every detail, like mancheko detail pani ma ramrari banaunchu. It doesn't mean like you draw them je paite garikana. They make up society, so I'm gonna focus on like every single detail. So it's like the amount of detail in like his work is like so stunning. Even in terms of storytelling, touches upon things like war, poverty, all kinds of things. Okay, so like
capitalism, yeah, I think every character has something a role by character. Bigger picture meaning and a certain symbolism. But I guess like duita question I want to add. Firstly, are you one of those people who grew up with all the Disney songs and sort of remembers all those songs?
Songs, I don't. Well, there are some classics like Aladdin, like the Whole New World, that one.
Whole New World.
That one is classic. And then Lion King, Hakuna Matata. But I'm also not one of those people who know all Disney songs at all.
Okay.
And I've actually not watched a lot of the princess movies.
Okay.
Purposefully avoided because I think I rewatched the one with the red hair.
Snow White one, Cinderella.
She's a mermaid, sorry.
Hey, the Little Mermaid.
Yeah, the Little Mermaid.
Ariel.
I watched that as an adult and I found it very ridiculous.
Okay.
Just in terms of like this mermaid who just like falls in love with this guy and like, she just wants to leave everything, like, do everything for this guy. It's a little ridiculous. There's some Disney movies that I don't approve of, but then most of them I like.
I think I'm not a big fan of Disney movies. Pixar say yes. Yeah. Obviously Disney Pixar. But the reason I was asking you because the songs I realized that because Americans or like Westerners, they don't have movie songs. Hindi gana sunday उनीहरूलाई चाहिँ सबै कण्ठ हुने रहेछ मेरो तीनटै पहिलाको रुममेटहरु त्यस्तै थियो नि त फेरि गाना पनि बजाउनु रमाइलो लाग्ने अनि त्यस्तै गीत गाउने म त केही थाहा न जस्तो कि गानाहरु अंग्रेजी गानाहरु त आउँथ्यो अलिअलि तर जस्तो त केही नहुने अर्को कुरा चाहिँ I wanted to ask was Miyazaki र Pixar को कम्पेरिजन गर्दाखेरि मलाई चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्थ्यो भने Pixar मा चाहिँ obviously you're sort of watching the movie and you don't have to put your mind into reading the subtitles either.
Yeah.
And you can have a more immersive experience. Miyazaki, that was something I really struggled with because you mentioned all the animations and everything, but I was reading the subtitles, and I really struggled and I'm like, okay, this is amazing. But for me, Pixar is the boy. I mean, I have better experience than that. Do you feel that way as well?
This is funny because I watched all Miyazaki films in like English language.
Hey, okay. Okay.
which you can get. I think all Miyazaki films, not maybe all, but like majority of them have been translated to English because they were also wanted to cater to a Western crowd. I think they've been adapted, like language change. So I'm really sorry for you that you had to go through that.
No, I've not seen My Neighbor Totoro, so I'll probably see that English, man. Back to सबै हेरिसके मैले अब but it's worth to sort of watch again in English पनि.
Yeah.
Why did I not think about that? Simple कुरा.
No, but like with all languages, like, I think pure form is when like obviously you hear them in their आफ्नै authentic languages. I don't know if you know of this film called The Grave of the Fireflies.
Oh, Grave of the Fireflies.
Very powerful film. I think one of my favorite animated films. I watched the Japanese one, subtitle Padi, and that kid character was so brilliant that like I didn't feel as connected to the character when like I heard the English one. There's a lot of beauty in like authentic languages. Like I think you see the film as it is meant to sound.
Yeah, that's because the way they emote and the characters, when they obviously speak in their own language, a lot of it sort of gets lost in translation. So
that's true. I mean, now I'm like thinking of all these Hollywood blockbusters when like they bring it to Nepal, they translate it in Hindi, and you have to watch it in Hindi and like
Varun Dhawan.
Just the sheer surprise when you hear it, like like the whole movie feels like a Tamil.
At the end of the day, it's a trade-off. Anglizima हेर्यो भने you can see all the animations. त्यो कुरा छँदैछ अब त्यही जापानिजमै हेर्यो भने उ छ हैन, which is nice. So, which makes me ask, movies that you did not or do not like that much, or like hate, hate is a strong word, but hallma gayo, paisa tirisakyo cha herne paryo, or like everybody is watching it, so I am gonna watch it as well.
I hate, obviously is a strong word, but I don't think I enjoyed it as much. Most people would like probably not like me for it, is the Avengers series. I mean, I'm a big Marvel fan, but like Avengers series, there's too much going on for me to like even follow. Individual films, or I like them, like Iron Man, Captain America. But then when they all came together and like all those like Tinta films, like I think I was myself surprised that like, I couldn't really follow through because there's so much happening all the time. Even if you go to the theater, like I kind of get bored, like the reaction matra bhayo pani, it takes away a lot in terms of like the story depth, say. So like, well, I'd say it's though I didn't really enjoy it, but I know pretty serious Avengers fan.
I know you're definitely an outlier. Some people don't like Avengers because they don't like Marvel in general. They don't follow Marvel. But I think Marvel follow गर्ने मान्छेहरु like they love the Avengers, like Avengers Infinity War or Endgame I can watch any time of the day. Like any time of the day, dialogue पहिला त्यो कुचुच होता है कण्ठ भए जस्तो हेर्नु पनि कण्ठै छ हैन. अहिले पनि त्यो टोनी स्टार्क त मरेको ठिकै लाग्छ है. सरी स्पोइलर्स त्यो मरेको मलाई मतलब छैन है, तर मलाई त ब्ल्याक विडो मर्दा चाहिँ म त ओहो यस्तो मारको यस्तो मलाई नराम्रो लागेको थियो. म त त्यो one funny memory of that movie Endgame hallमा हेर्ने first day first show बिहानको show अनि फुल हाउस हैन, सबै त्यहाँ ह्युज सिनेमासमा गएको हैन. म त फर्स्ट हाफमै अब वहाँ हुन्छ नि मनमा पैसा थियो हैन, ब्ल्याक विडो मर्दा. पछि टोनी स्टार्क मर्दा त हलमा एकजना स्टार्ट है, त्यसपछि त
Oh my god.
20-30 जना मान्छे मोस्टली मेन है.
Quite a scene race in the hall mata.
That was so funny. That's so funny. Yeah.
No, I think like if you watch it in a movie theater, esto movies I think the experience is so different. I think मैले गल्ती के गरे भने Avengers आउने बेला either I was like in grad school or like somewhere where I didn't really go to the movie theater. So I think I watched all of the Avengers like on my laptop, which was a bad idea. So maybe that contributed to me not enjoying it as much.
Yeah, I mean, also which reminds me, Infinity War चाहिँ म उता हेर्न गएको थिएँ, Cambridge something छ नि त्यहाँको recliner seat वाला.
Apple Cinemas.
Apple Cinemas. मिकासँग गए हैन, र म इन्फिनिटी वरको फ्यान भनेर म चाहिँ अब मुभी हेर्न जाँदा त कराउन मन लाग्छ नि त कहिले हैन. अनि मिकासँग गएछ, मिकासँग अमेरिकन रुममेट हैन, उसँग गएछ, अब अलिकति शान्त हुनु पर्यो भनेर मिका त त्यो कसको एन्ट्री सिन याद छ गरेर सिटी बजाइदियो.
People must have turned around and looked at you guys.
There were others as well who were equally excited. So it was very funny. So, okay. That is a really interesting answer. Eh? So, this next question is alikiti sort of, it's okay if you don't have the answer or just try to think matre. Can you remember the first movie you saw or like when you started watching movies?
I think first movie त्यो ठ्याक्क ठम्याउन त एकदमै गाह्रो.
याद छैन.
I don't think I have an answer for that, but like the first movies that I have memory of watching probably would be like the Bollywood films. I remember Akshay Kumar ko त्यो एउटा छ नि film where he's like in dark glasses and he dances with
गरे गरे मुखडे पे काला काला चस्मा त्यो त होइन.
त्यो पनि हो, but there's another one, Tu Cheez Badi
Hai. मस्त ओ मोरा.
I remember that. Oh, I remember watching that film in a VHS. That song, I think as a kid, like really happy listening to it all the time. After watching that, I think Akshay Kumar was my first favorite hero. I remember. I think besides that, probably would be like a Bacha Bela Ki Dehaunte Bhani cartoon te Dehaunte Wala. So Disney films, VHS kati पर्न थियो हाम्रो घरमा.
Okay. Ani, what was the last movie that you saw? If you can remember that.
Very recently, I rewatched Brokeback Mountain.
One of my favorite movies, Brokeback Mountain.
It's so beautiful, and I actually watched it like 2005. I used to watch a lot of movies, and I happened to watch that movie when I was a teenager. Obviously, again, the words you used, not my very woke self. I didn't really understand the intricacies of the story, of the emotion. अनि सो के हो जस्तो लाग्थ्यो तर पनि like I used to watch a lot of Oscar awards पनि एकदम रमाइकन हेर्थेँ त्यतिबेला. This movie won a lot of accolades and obviously for the performance as well. And no matter what I think, it's a good movie. Everybody says so भनेर हैन. Recently, like a friend of mine told me that she watched it. म त कति रोएँ वा भनेर. मैले त ए हो भनेर I rewatched it and then I was like, okay.
Yeah, that was some movie, like you have these sort of white conservative men, it fits all the brackets of which like a political climate, and to make a love story out of that. I guess त्यति बेला म पनि प्रोग्रेसिभ थिएन, म धेरै पछि हेरेँ आउ त्यो मुभी त. त्यो मुभी रिलिज हुँदा थाहा पनि थिएन मलाई. अनि पछि थाहा भएपछि पनि I was avoiding that movie. मैले मिल्क हेरेँ पहिला, अनि मिल्क एकदम राम्रो लाग्यो. And then पछि चाहिँ I have to see Brokeback Mountain. This is one of the most beautiful love stories. Shows a gay relationship the way it is supposed to be showed भनेको थियो. अनि त्यो कुरा दामी लागेको थियो मलाई. Ang Lee-को मुभी हैन.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger-को.
It was 2005 it was a pretty gutsy film to make. With mainstream casting on Heath Ledger and all, they're pretty well-known faces. So like, that's quite impressive. And the fact that he was even kind of accepted the novel, but like, well taken, I would say like, pretty commendable.
Yeah, I think there's so many articles which I read that Heath Ledger should have won the Best Actor Oscar for that movie when and then मैले मिल्क भन्दा अगाडि फिलाडेल्फिया हेरेको थिएँ. मलाई त्यो याद आयो, टम ह्याङ्क्सको मुभी भनेर हेरेको थिएँ. But Brokeback Mountain is obviously so much better than Philadelphia.
मैले फिलाडेल्फिया हेरेको छैन.
You think of it as Tom Hanks and Antonio Banderas playing lovers, हैन? So Tom Hanks won an Oscar for that movie. His first.
No.
Okay. Okay, I will move to the other question. How do you decide which movie that you want to watch? How do you choose your movies?
I really tend to go by word of mouth and like reviews, just to make sure I'm not really wasting my time on like silly films. Not that like I don't like watching silly films. I do. I can watch good films. Obviously, everybody loves good films, but I can also watch bad films. Or like mediocre films, okay? Bad films, matter you can laugh or like there's a lot to learn from bad films, I think. Good films, obviously, there's so much to learn. And mediocre films, don't boring laksa. So I do tend to follow like reviews. The streaming platforms like accessible films. So not to sound too judgmental, but sometimes I like judge the book by its cover. I look at the trailer if it's appealing, and obviously there if you like some actors. Hindi movie anyway. There are a few actors I like really love, and I know like the film will be worth watching, even if it's just for their performances. Like Nawazuddin Siddiqui, Irfan Khan, Pankaj Tripathi is like work I really enjoy. Parish Rawal, even as a serious actor, he's pretty good. His politics aside. But yeah, actors or like just word of mouth.
Ludo हेरे तिमीले?
Ludo चाहिँ हेरेको छ मैले. Primary reason being Abhishek Bachchan चाहिँ मलाई त्यस्तो मन पर्दैन.
No, I think because you mentioned Pankaj Tripathi, I think Pankaj Tripathi role is iconic in that movie.
ए हो मैले हेरेको छैन. I didn't know he was in it.
Yeah,
Oh my
he's
God,
the
okay.
guy who sort of connects all the four boxes.
ए,
So
okay.
he's very funny. He's very funny in that movie.
Have you seen त्यो इरफान खानको हिन्दी medium भन्ने?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
The second one, I think, not the first one.
Angrezi medium.
Angrezi medium, sorry.
Angrezi medium first half, राम्रो थियो.
Pankaj Tripathi plays a special cameo in that. Okay?
Oh, I don't remember that now.
Dubai go sound like Dawn or something that like kind of smuggles Irfan Khan.
Hey, oh, yeah, that.
He is so brilliant in that. It's such a short role, but like he's so memorable in that.
All his movies, even Stream पनि त्यसले रोल त छैन नि त he's very memorable अनि सबैभन्दा त त्यो बरेली की बर्फी के even though like Rajkumar Rao was the star of the movie, but his role was still very entertaining है त्यो movie सानो role भए पनि.
Yeah, and he's I think quite a late find for like Bollywood film industry, but like I'm really glad they found him.
Yeah, one more movie that I don't know if you have seen or not, Neel Batte Sannata भन्ने.
सुन्या त लाग्छ तर हेरेको चाहिँ छैन surely.
It is a lovely movie. अनि Pankaj Tripathi is there हैन. अनि त्यसपछि स्वरा भास्करको movie हो के.
Yeah.
Ashwini Iyer Tiwari, who also made Panga, who also made Bareli Ki Barfi as well. So you should definitely see that movie. Pankaj Tripathi is hilarious in that movie. Pankaj Tripathi ले जहिले भन्छ के मलाई त्यो भन्दा अगाडि भिलन को रोल मात्रै दिन्थ्यो. अश्विनीले मात्रै मलाई यस्तो रोमान्टिक रोल दिने त्यसपछि मेरो करियर बनायो भन्थ्यो कि उसले. So okay, that was so much fun. Our final question for this particular segment is some movie characters that you related to, that you've really empathized with. I don't know how you watch movies. What's a movie that I always sort of imagine myself to be one of the characters, you know?
Mopani, I empathize a lot. I really tend to put myself in the character's shoes. But I don't think anything sticks out to my mind, personally related. There must have obviously been lots of instances where that has happened. But I can't really think of any. मैले त्यस्तो strongly relate गरेको चाहिँ होला. It's just not coming to mind.
मैले त Ted Mosby थियो के ओहो मै जस्तो लाग्थ्यो है Ted Mosby.
Yes, of course. I can see the connection.
I was very happy with the ending for me.
Ending up with Robin?
Ending up with Robin. That was ideal for me, at least.
What do you mean? Like, you haven't found the mother yet?
I know. I follow and for me, like, because the story began with Robin, because that was when Ted started sharing the story with everyone. It made logical sense, Bunny, in a way.
I agree, because, like, I know a lot of people were really unhappy with, like, how it ended. But then the story was about, like, how him and Robin, like, sort of had a really long, drawn relationship. And it was all about her and, like, how much he loved her. But, like, all the ups and downs. So the mother comes so late that, like, dude, point Maunibela, you've already forgotten that, like, the story is about the mother. So I enjoyed it too.
Okay. Okay. So now we'll move on to the next segment. The next segment is rapid fire. Lamo time you can always pass. Try to be fast, try to be witty, and the funny answers will get you a really interesting prize. And just letting you know that this particular segment or this particular show is not inspired by any other talk show. This is completely original. Okay. Okay, here you go. Aita, first question. A movie that made you cry like a baby.
I think Coco, the end scene when, like, the grandmother, like...
Okay. Your favorite actor and 3 movies of that actor?
Meryl Streep, The Iron Lady, and then Devil Wears Prada. Sophie's Choice.
Okay. A film character that you absolutely hated?
Kabir Singh. Hands down, I think he's my most hated character.
That's fair. Same here. A movie you can watch any day, anytime.
Any Pixar or like Miyazaki films, but like I think Howl's Moving Castle is like one of my favorites. So
okay. Okay. A movie that you like, but you're sort of embarrassed about liking it.
Welcome. Oh my God, welcome.
Welcome. Okay.
It's so ridiculous. But it's so enjoyable.
It is definitely Madnu Bhaira ke Kanda lelo alu. An actor you developed a crush on after watching the movie.
This is also embarrassing. I am sure you to mo matra na धेरैजनाको होला. Early 2000s ma when Kahona Pyare first came.
Hrithik Roshan.
First scene where like he wakes up in the bed. Oh my god. I think the entire all said, wow, so handsome. So मलाई पनि त्यो बेलादेखि like, you know, I really had a crush on him. Obviously I've outgrown it. But अर्को actor पनि छ, Colin Firth is like
The King's Speech.
But you know, gender discriminate garum, so I will also mention a female actor, Radhika Apte. I watched Lost Stories.
She was like very opinionated and insecure at the same time. Right? It was a really interesting character. Only Anurag Kashyap can only make those characters.
Right?
Character, you want to like that character, but you want to hate that character as well. Only the realization that you don't want to like the characters because it reminds you so much of yourself, because you're also that way, because then you want the movie characters to be perfect.
Yeah. Oh.
Too real. Okay. Two characters from different movies that you think can be in a separate movie. Right? This is a curveball in a way.
That's hard.
Put Kabir Singh with a very strong, opinionated woman who will sort of give him a good time.
Oh, like Kabir Singh like जब we met को गीत सँग हाल्दे भने I wonder how it would be. अलिकति धमाकेदार. Because the गीत is अलिकति भए पनि, well, I mean, she does have like a weak point when she falls in love with that guy. But like at least like सुरुमा when like they were introduced to her as a character, she's like very strong, feisty, like, you know, no nonsense type of a girl. Where you know Kabir Singh is. And funny thing is that they're both Shahid Kapoor, so.
They both are Shahid Kapoor.
Yeah.
Okay. Choosing between movies, right? Toy Story 3 or Up?
Toy Story 3. I think this came out exactly to Miro college Sunday summer. The last scene when like he leaves those toys and then like goes and just leaving his childhood like behind. Oh my god.
It was Toy Story 3 or Toy Story 4. It's not a part of it, but still.
I would still go for Toy Story 3. I think it's
3,
like the whole line.
4 was unnecessary, but was not bad, right? In a way.
Oh,
but in a way, 3 was a better ending, right?
Yeah. End I would have not minded.
Okay. A movie that you have not seen, but tell everyone that you have.
Godfather series.
That's fair. That's fine. A movie that you did enjoy watching, but have to pretend to be a fan to act cool.
यसलाई पनि मैले धेरै नै पिटाइ खानेवाला छु, but I found Black Panther अलिकति underwhelming. Now, don't get me wrong, like the world that they've created is like really commendable, like, you know, acting is great, like, you know, such rich universe, but just in terms of like the story, like the depth of it, अलिकति missing लाग्यो मलाई. So मैले यो पहिला भन्दाखेरि I've gotten a lot of flack for it, just to the point of like being called a racist, which I mean, I didn't find much depth in the story. एकदम त्यो conflict point मलाई strong लागेन, मात्र मैले भन्न खोजेको हो है.
That's fair. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. So your favorite movie of all time that you haven't mentioned, so no Pixar, Disney, or Miyazaki movies.
Oh, I would say favorite. Have you seen The Pianist?
Polanski.
त्यो पनि मैले भर्खरै rewatch गरेको, that's why it's in the top of my head. त्यो पनि like when I first watched it, I was very young, अब कति 2002 मा आएको. I was like बच्चै थिएँ. I didn't really understand त्यस्तो धेरै, but I remember it leaving a mark on me even then. On you when I rewatched it, like, you know, this beला पनि I was like, wow, like, you know, like just like it does such a good job at showing like, you know, the horrors of war, like, you know, the Holocaust and everything. So very moving film.
Yeah, I think that movie sort of taught me if त्यसरी त्यस्तो सिचुएसनमा पर्यो भने मुसालाई कसरी खानुपर्छ, like काट्नुपर्छ, त्यो पुच्छर काट्ने and then everything. So
yeah.
Just, that's the haunting memory that I have. Okay, अहिले पनि like it takes me to this position where like if I am actually in that position, I know how to sort of, because कस्तो graphically देखाछ नि त त्यो scene.
Yeah.
Ani okay. Arko is a movie that you did not like that you haven't mentioned till now. Any of the mediocre movies? I
mean, there are a lot of Salman Khan films that like.
No, Salman Khan movies are bad. I mean, they're not mediocre.
Even the mediocre ones, I would say like Sultan of at least like राम्ररी मान्छेले एकदम praise गरेको थियो. मलाई त्यो पनि एकदम.
Oh yeah, Sultan.
You know, there's so many aspects of that film that like I find problematic, but
Yeah, Sultan, probably a mediocre movie. In Salman Khan's head, though, it probably should have won an Oscar.
Yeah. Sure.
Because he did feel like someone, in that while shooting for that movie, which he mentioned.
Yeah.
A highly overrated movie.
मलाई त्यो सञ्जय लीला भन्सालीको त्यो recent ones, Bajirao Mastani and
Padmavat.
both of them, I find are slightly overrated. Obviously, his style of filmmaking is also elaborate and larger than life. People tend to like it just for like the visual aspect of it, and I think they did pretty well like commercially. But more, I'd say I much rather watch his older like Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam is my favorite Bansali film.
So a criminally underrated movie.
I think Lutera. It's rated well, but not appreciated enough as much as it should be. Because I feel like it's such a masterclass of a film. So subtly made. The storytelling is so beautiful. The acting is superb.
Yeah. I think Sonakshi Sinha's second or third movie, and she sort of peaked in her second or third movie, and since then sort of been in a decline.
Usko finest film se nahi ho.
Usko one only finest movie.
Also, Ranveer Singh ko one of his finest performances. I usually find him a little loud elsewhere, but like Isma, he's so subtle and so calm as an actor, which is kind of surprising.
I remember Vikrant Massey from this movie, the best friend who gets shot by Ranveer Singh.
Yeah.
त्यति बेला नि मलाई त्यो एक्टर कस्तो दामी लागेको थियो कि like I followed his filmography त्यसपछि पनि अनि yeah, I thought he was amazing in that movie.
He's also kind of done well now.
Finally.
So many things. Yeah.
Okay. Last question. 3 favorite movie quotes.
Well, I only remember dumb, silly, funny ones. One is...
That's fine.
One is Raval ko, hey, deva re deva. That one. The other one is Andaz Apna Apna ko, the crime master Gugu. And then the Robert. Those I remember. Favorite त कहाँ भन्नु है शाहरुख खानको कति आइकनिक छन् बट लाइक
that's fine.
कभी कभी छोटे छोटे शहरों में बड़े बड़े
उल्टो भयो बड़े शहरों में छोटी छोटी बातें होती रहती है
Exactly that.
Okay, thank you so much for this slightly rapid, slightly already झिल्को बोलेको but it was a lot of fun. दुईटा कुरा I really want to share with you. Black Panther म पनि निदाएको हो त्यो मुभी त्यही त्यो एप्पल सिनेमाजमा हेर्न गए हैन अनि अक्षर पनि थियो रातिको टाइममा हेर्न गए रिक्लाइनर सिट्स अनि त्यसपछि म त जहिले निदा हुन्थ्यो रिक्लाइन गरे थागिरा हुन्थ्यो म चाहिँ निदा अनि अक्षरले चाहिँ द गुड गाइ लस्ट द ब्याड गाइ वन भन्यो है ओ मर्यो त ब्ल्याक प्यान्थर अनि देन बिकज त्यो अर्को पनि ब्ल्याक प्यान्थर बन्न खोजिरहेको थियो नि त माइकल बी जोर्डन आई थट ही बिकेम द न्यू ब्ल्याक प्यान्थर एन्ड देन वी वेटेड फर द पोस्ट क्रेडिट सीन अनि त्यसपछि चाहिँ त्यसमा त त्यही देखायो त भनेर लाइक आई वाज जेन्युनली सरप्राइज्ड है अर्को ब्ल्याक प्यान्थर स्टोरी द्याट आई हेभ इज अल्सो एप्पल सिनेमाजको आई टोल्ड मिका म अनि आश्रय होइन आश्रयलाई चाहिँ ब्ल्याक प्यान्थर हेर्न जाने जाउँ भनेर बोलाएँ होइन मिकाको गाडीमा हामी टिकट चाहिँ मैले प्याडम्यानको ल्याएको थिएँ कि त्यो हिन्दी फिल्म हेर्नु त आउँदैन थियो मरो भनेर त्यसलाई ब्ल्याक प्यान्थर भनेर लगेको
Oh my god, I think I remember you telling me this.
Oh yeah, हलमा फेरि 3 जना मात्रै हामी कोही थिएन सानो हलमा ट्रेलर आउन थाल्यो हिन्दी होइन अनि त्यसपछि ओहो हिन्दी ट्रेलर भनेर आश्रय दङ्ग परिरहेको थियो Then he ended up watching the movie. He didn't pay for the tickets. I know. And सकिसकेपछि because buy pick थियो नि त अनि did they actually sing those songs as well? So it was very fun. That's it. About we'll go to this other segment called Let's Discuss, where we'll be discussing a subject where this is not going to be like यस्तो movies बनाउनु पर्छ यस्तो movies हेर्नु पर्छ these movies are good these movies are bad or any. It is about you telling us how you choose to sort of like or not like a movie or कति ठाउँमा choice भन्दा नि intrinsic पनि हुन सक्छ हैन. So which is about the politics or the messaging of the movie. I know. So does the messaging, overall political aspect of the movie, does it matter too much for you when you like or not like a movie? When you're enjoying a movie, do you feel guilty? Oh, this is a Salman Khan movie, or like where a woman is being objectified, but I still am enjoying. So what are your thoughts on that?
पहिला, I think when I was a kid and even when I was a teenager, I used to enjoy watching Japanese. And obviously, I'd process it, and I don't think I would get much out of it. But I think now I've understood what power like films have in shaping like narratives, like values, and everything. Like it's such a powerful medium that I feel like there is some sort of a responsibility like a filmmaker has in terms of like how they tell a story, what kind of values they promote. So let's say I do have like checklist at the back of my head where like I'm चाहेर पनि नचाहेर पनि I've like started looking at films with like a gender lens or like with a race lens or like even geopolitics. If you look at a lot of Bollywood films and Nepali films, English films पनि छ like नहुने होइन एकदम blatantly चाहिँ I think Bollywood films and Nepali films मा चाहिँ like it's really there, like you know how they portray female characters. There's so much misogyny, sexism, like, you know, how they portray the female character, the values they're supposed to follow. I've been rewatching a lot of Purano 90s films and even like early 2000s. त्यसमा त एकदमै blatant छ नि कुछ होता है नै हेर्यो भने, like, you know, even like those classics that you watch, when you look at the female characters, like you think like, they're always expected to like leave everything or like change themselves. कुछ होता है like Anjali has to like आफ्नो natural personality नै like 180 degrees change गरेर like only when she becomes a really feminine, like Shah Rukh Khan is suddenly head over heels in love with her. Other films are पनि त्यस्तै छ नि, like Kabir Singh त अहिलेको recent example हो. Even now it's so blatant. Just two films I have no tolerance for now, but say that's why I think a lot of Salman Khan films I have no tolerance for, because the films are funny, like the female character is always an arm candy almost, like, you know, that only adds to make his character cooler. So अरू कुरा चाहिँ I think अब raceको issues हेऱ्यो भने like English films they're so problematic. You know, if there are people of color that are in the film, they're usually stereotyped, right? So geopolitical कुराहरू हेऱ्यो भने like a lot of Hindi films where like communal violence को कुरा गर्यो कि, or like even like war films, like it's so the bad guy is always either like Muslim or a Pakistani, you know. The messaging नै कस्तो wrong छ के. Just two films I've started calling it out. And if we don't call filmmakers out, I think it's always going to happen.
A follow-up question to this is, Agi, you mentioned Paresh Rawalko politics, and also when we talk about a movie like The Pianist, Roman Polanski ko problematic aspect pani cha. So does that also factor in oile, like actors, inclusion?
As much as we don't want it to, like movie and you do remember like these are the filmmakers or like actors. I think it does affect, at least your opinion, because I've already seen these films, like, you know, I've already had an opinion. Might not change it much. These are films I've already invested emotions for. If I were to watch a new film or like a film that I haven't watched with the same people, I would probably not choose to. Like one example would be James Franco. I'm a big fan. Spider-Man days, I found him like ekdam crushy bhanum na. He's also a decent actor. He has some really good, strong films. But then ever since like Usko controversy, I've kind of avoided Usko's films because he is a problematic character off screen. So I don't know, like you can't really unsee him on it.
Yeah. James Franco I can still take, right? But if पछि something about Gary Oldman पनि and Johnny Depp and Tom Hanks एकजना पस्थ्यो भने मेरो जिन्दगी ठीक हुन्थ्यो भन्ने जस्तो लाग्छ के. DiCaprio as well maybe, but more so Tom Hanks, because there's so many memories attached with Tom Hanks, हैन. पुरानो मुभिजहरु हेर्दाखेरि if I can't watch First Gump or if I can't watch Saving Private Ryan हरु हैन, त्यो कस्तो feel हुन्छ कि, because I'm also genuinely like, even though Tarantino को movie Weinstein ले produce गरेको छ, हेर्नु हुन्छ नि कस्तो कस्तो हुन्छ कि त्यो सुरुमै आउँदाखेरि Harvey Weinstein को त्यो आउँदाखेरि हैन, अनि so yeah, I can sort of relate to that as well.
Yeah, that's true. But you know, like if they're there, but like movie bhaneko it's like a collective effort. It's not just about one person. So I do feel a little sympathetic towards other people in the film, right? No business with like one or two people go. It's their craft that we're also ignoring. So like but like yeah, it's just what it is.
त्यो पनि हो. त्यही ठाउँमा पनि like especially actors who were in a position of lesser power to the producers, त्यो कुरा, but also like actors who were equal power मा or who had power over someone like Harvey Weinstein or James Franco. उनीहरूको कुरा सुन्दाखेरि पनि त्यो पनि याद आउँछ कि मलाई, स्पेशली मुभी हेरेर बेला झझल्केर आउने के. These actors obviously knew, हैन, Tarantino obviously knew about Weinstein भन्ने खालको हुन्छ दिमागमा आउने के. Plus this was Tarantinoको 5th movie or 4th movie, हैन, त्यति बेलासम्म त यो हुन्थ्यो. So I can't enjoy the movie anymore खालको है. Okay, next segment is movie trivia. So movie trivia मा चाहिँ I'll ask you 10 questions. First 7 questions मा चाहिँ I'll give you options options. And if you say the answer right without the options, then you will get 10 points. And options bhanera चाहिँ, if you give the right answer, you only get 5 points. Option bina wrong answer भन्यो भने -10 हुन्छ. Option भनेर चाहिँ wrong answer भन्यो भने चाहिँ -5 हुन्छ. अनि pass गर्यो भने 0.
No.
It's the first 7 questions, right? And 8 र 9 चाहिँ I'll name 3 movies, and त्यसमा चाहिँ एउटा actor will be common, and you'll have to name the actor. No options given यसमा चाहिँ. So +10 or -10. अनि finally number 10 मा चाहिँ यो चाहिँ time bound question हो. 10 second को time हुन्छ. अनि I'll tell you to sort of name movies about a certain actor, a certain scenario, and then जति धेरै भन्यो त्यति 5 points पाइन पाउँछ.
Oh my god, I'm horrible at this.
Right. So final twist, you have 3 options: Hollywood, Bollywood, or Collywood.
Bollywood.
Bollywood, la. You might take Hollywood just to because I saw a question there. Harry, you probably be so we'll do the Hollywood just for fun.
Yeah.
Bonus episodes. Bollywood will only be counted. No. Okay. Question number 1. What was the name of the actor who portrayed the character of Chatur Ramalingam in 3 Idiots?
No, I don't know his name.
Okay, then I'll give you the options and you'll get A. Rahul Vaidya, B. Omi Vaidya, C. Raj Vaidya, D. Omkar Vaidya.
It's Omi Vaidya.
Okay, 5 points. Next question. What was the name of Johnny Lever's character in Kuch Kuch Hota Hai?
कस्तो बिर्सेको ल अप्सन चाहिँ चाहिन्छ यसलाई पनि.
Okay. A. Poppy Bhai, B. Tobu, C. Babulal, D. Almeida.
Almeida.
That is also the right answer. And these are all Johnny Lever character names. Interesting. Sajilo bhaidyo bhane. Okay. Which Karan Johar directed movie does not feature Shah Rukh Khan in it?
Student of the Year.
Final answer?
I think it's Student of the Year.
It is the right answer.
Yes.
10 points तिर नखोजे मैले अब के गर्ने. This is अलिकति tricky. What was Alia Bhatt's second full-length feature role भएको movie?
I think it's Highway.
Final answer?
But options.
Obviously, Highway is one of the options. 2 states, Humpty Sharma ki Dulhania, Shandar.
Shandar to hunदैन. Humpty पनि होइन, it came much later. It's between 2 states and Highway. But I think it's Highway.
Final answer, Inta?
Yeah.
It is the right answer. So you lost out on 5 points actually. Okay. What was the name of Sunil Shetty's character in Hera Fairy?
Options.
A. Ram, B. Raju, C. Shyam, D. Babu Bhaiya.
I think it's Shyam.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Again, right answer. Sabai right gareछ भने.
Good that I didn't pick Hollywood. I don't think I would have done this.
You probably would have. Let's see. Okay. Have you seen Drishyam?
Yeah.
Okay, you might get this answer. When did Vijay Salgaonkar claim that he and his family go to visit Panjim for Swami Chinmayananda's satsang? When? Very meme भएको date के अहिले एकदम त्यो date मा जहिले meme हुन्छ नि कल ये date है कल विजय सालगाउँकर अपनी family के साथ.
तर मलाई यादै छैन तर options छैन यसमा.
Okay. A 3 अक्टोबर, B 4 अक्टोबर, C 2 अक्टोबर, D 1 अक्टोबर.
Wow, maybe 2 अक्टोबर गान्धीको birthday मला.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Right answer again.
Yes.
Okay. You think was supposed to be the difficult question, but you got it right, which is really, really nice. Next question. What was the name of Baman Irani's character in the movie Munna Bhai MBBS?
Options.
A. Viru Sahastra Buddhi, B. K. Asthana, C. J. Asthana, D. Lakhbir Singh.
Oh my god. You know, like I will have to admit, मैले राम्ररी मुन्ना भाइ हेरेकै छैन.
यो र? A.
B. I'll go with B.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Wrong answer. -5. Pass गर्ने option पनि छ है. Pass गर्ने option छ है. त्यो गर्ने 0 हुन्छ. -5 पाएँ. The C थियो के खास J. Asthana थियो. Okay, अब options वाला question सक्यो. अब दुईटा चाहिँ name the actor वाला question छ. So name the actor who featured in all these 3 movies. हम साथ साथ हैं, मैं हूं ना, and गोलमाल again.
हम साथ साथ मा पनि छ. Golmaal again. Golmaal again is the one with Ajay Devgan.
All the Golmaals have Ajay Devgan.
अनि हम साथ साथ र मैं हूं ना मा चाहिँ अब I can only think of Shah Rukh. Oh my god, I think it's pretty obvious जस्तो लाग्यो मलाई.
It is not obvious, it is गाह्रो नै. You can pass. ठिकै छ. You can pass, but I'll give you options. But if you get it right, you get it right, just for fun. If you don't get it right, you'll not get the Neelam, के अरे श्रेयस तलपडे, which is मैले भर्खर बनाएको option, which is not the right answer.
Just giving it away.
yeah. I'll give you अर्को option. अर्को option is Aloknath, Zayed Khan, third option, and the fourth option is Tabu.
Tabu is not in Golmaal again. The second option is what? Aloknath? I would say Aloknath.
I know, it is Tabu. Tabu is in Golmaal again. Tabu is the bhut bhagaउने something in Golmaal again. हेरेको छैन.
मैले हेरेको छैन.
हेरेको छैन होला. It is a horror comedy. अनि त्यसमा चाहिँ तबु चाहिँ भूत पकाउने के हुन्छ.
मैले नि हुनामा आउँछ त.
त्यो एउटा गाना छ नि त्यसमा पछाडी तबु यतिकै उभिरा हुन्छ के. त्यो सानो फिचर गर्छ. होइन अब it was a cult thing back then when I was releasing, you know, because सानो cameos हुन्थ्यो नि त. And it was like asked around के where तबु and Shah Rukh Khan को movie छैन नि त कुनै पनि. Like कुन movie छ भने नै हुना भन्थ्यो कि. I still remember that.
Farah Khan को फिल्ममा फेरि यस्तो सानो cameos
हुन्थ्यो. Yeah, I mean the other movie is Om Shanti Om when Shah Rukh Khan and Tabu are there. But Om Shanti Om लिन लाएको थिए मैं हुनाको सट्टामा Om Shanti Om will just make it so difficult just to buy there. Because like there's so many actors, you know.
So many of them, that's true. Well, this was hard.
Next question. Name the actor who was featured in all these three movies. Gangs of Wasseypur Part 2, Queen, and Ludo.
Is it Pankaj Tripathi?
That is the wrong answer.
Oh no!
Negative 10 दिनै पर्यो. मैले final answer भनेर सोध्नु पर्थ्यो. ठिक छ, I'll give you one more chance.
Queen Rajkumar Rao.
Final answer?
What was the third film?
Ludo.
Oh, Rajkumar Rao.
That's the right answer.
Yeah.
Okay, you get 10 points. Gangs of Wasseypur Part 2 thing that's I but he has a sano role, but it's a very important, interesting, and well acted. Ke त्यति बेला नै त्यो सानो role मा नि he was really good.
Oh, I've been meaning to watch that film, so
that's a really good movie.
Reminder.
ल अब चाहिँ 10 seconds होला है. ओहो यो चाहिँ तिम्रो एकदमै टेस्ट हो है बलिउड क्विजको यो चाहिँ एकदमै मेन टेस्ट हो. Each right movie that you guess will give you 5 points. A chance to redeem yourself, but you already have 80 points.
Well, I also took options, so like, you know.
अहिले some of the subject राम्रो तिम्रो नै छ So, okay, the name movies of Madhuri Dixit that does not feature any of the Khans or Anil Kapoor.
Aja Nachle, Koila, Ela. I'm not very familiar with it.
Okay, you got one right. Tikta, Aja Nachle, you got 5 points. Tikta. It is kind of difficult. So when you think of it, you know.
मैले माधुरी दीक्षित अनिल कपूर नभएको त त्यति हेरेको छैन.
But these are mostly new movies, you know, because अहिले नयाँ त खासै खेला छ नि त शाहरुख खानहरुसँग. So yeah, there were movies like Kalang, Ded Ishki, and Gulab Gang भन्ने थियो. Or like पुरानो movies like Khalnayak. त्यो एकदमै आइकनिक फिल्म थियो सेलाब भन्ने which made माधुरी दीक्षित the धक धक गर्ल खालको. राजा was माधुरीको आइकनिक मुभी.
तर राजामा आमिर खान थियो हैन?
हैन नि सञ्जय कपूर. अखियाँ मिलाऊ कभी अखियाँ चुराऊ भन्ने गाना पनि थियो.
I love that song. So पहिला बताउँदाखेरि.
I was quite iconic movie. But yeah, I mean I had to sort of look it up and make this list, so this is definitely not easy. So let's count your points that you got, right? 10, 20, 25, 30, 35 30, 40, 45. Oh, dammy.
100.
Which is good, right? Also, my highest also my 30 भन्दा माथि ल्याउने कोही छैन.
Fingers crossed, nobody's gonna beat that.
So, just for fun, I'll just do a very quick Hollywood quiz with you as well. You know, first question would have been, for which movie did Tom Hanks win his first Oscar?
Forrest Gump.
Oh, no, Philadelphia.
Which
I gave it away.
Nice.
The catch would have been like Forrest Gump or Philadelphia confusion, right? Yeah. Okay. What was Leonardo DiCaprio's name in Titanic? Jack what? Jack full name ke ho? Options ke hunte bhane Jack Whitehall, Jack Brown, Jack McCarthy, Jack Dawson.
The last one, right?
Oh, Jack Dawson. You also think sure answer garthyo. What is the real name of Black Widow or Scarlett Johansson's character in the MCU?
Natasha Romanoff, no?
Right. For which movie did Denzel Washington win his first Oscar for Best Actor?
Options is answer.
Glory, Malcolm X, The Hurricane, Training Day. It's a gary question. If you're a Denzel fan, you know. If you're not a Denzel fan, you don't know.
Malcolm X?
होइन, Training Day would have been the right answer. यो अलिक गाह्रै भयो है. अनि which is the highest grossing superhero movie without sort of taking into account the Avengers?
So not the Avengers series, but individually cool.
Apart from the Avengers.
Batman, The Dark Knight?
Options actually भन्छु है, because that's the wrong answer. So Iron Man 3, Dark Knight Rises, The Incredibles, अनि Black Panther.
ए Black Panther होला.
Black Panther. अनि यो चाहिँ तिमीलाई, do you watch Star Wars? म हेरेको चाहिँ छैन.
पहिला हेर्थेँ, but I haven't watched everything though.
So you probably would not have known this answer. Like, how old is Yoda when he dies?
Option.
Okay, it's classic. Yeah, even if I give you the options, you probably won't know. 800, 700, 900, 400.
Oh my god, I know. 900?
I know 800. Okay. Ani yo चाहिँ तिमीलाई आउँथ्यो होला. In the film Frozen, which actor gave the voice to the role of Queen Elsa?
Dina Menzel.
Yeah. अब यो पनि आउँथ्यो तिमीलाई, sure. Name the actor who is in all these three movies: Interstellar, Wolf of Wall Street, Magic Mike.
Can you options that?
छैन एउटा त्यो iconic scene छ. Tick tick.
Oh, I know. Matthew
McConaughey. त्यो scene चाहिँ क्या iconic छ.
Oh, I know.
Name the actor who features in all these three movies: Black Panther, Star Wars. कति धेरै Black Panther movie. Star Wars: The Force Awakens, 12 Years a Slave.
Chadwick Boseman.
होइन, यो चाहिँ Lupita Nyong'o.
ए Lupita.
She won an Oscars for 12 Years a Slave.
12 Years a Slave, yeah.
अनि अब यो चाहिँ you would have gotten maybe 5 or 6 what are right, and you probably would have gotten like 50 or 60 points in total. 5 points each हो नि त यो चाहिँ लास्ट वाला. अहिले क्याल्कुलेट गरिरहेको छु मैले है, तिमीले I think 20, 30 सम्म पाउने रहेछ. अब यो भएको भए चाहिँ हेर है. Name movies for which Meryl Streep was nominated for an Oscar.
Sophie's Choice, The Devil Wears Prada, The Iron Lady. This what she recently went to. The Omen, is that a movie? No.
होइन ठिक छ, but time up हुन्थ्यो यति बेलासम्म त.
I would have
But still, like,
well, right, sir.
15 points त you probably easily you got, होइन. Recent movies चाहिँ यो डाउटहरू, जुलियन
Doubt भन्न खोजेँ मैले.
ओमेनबाट मैले बुझिरहेको थिएँ. Even for movies like Into the Woods, Florence Foster Jenkins अलि राम्रै थियो. The Post.
Oh, the recent one was The Post. Oh.
है, अनि August Osage County, अनि The Bridges of Madison County. त्यति बेलाको त्यो हेरेछ है, Bridges of Madison County. त्यो चाहिँ क्लिन्ट इस्टवुडसँगको हो. त्यो चाहिँ त्यति बेलाको जमानाको स्लिपलेस इन सियाटल हो क्या, एकदमै रोमान्टिक. ओहो, एकदमै त्यस्तो पनि हुन्छ र मुभी. अब आई थिङ्क हिन्दी कुछ होता है शाहरुख खान यस्तो रोमान्टिक देखाएको जस्तै त्यो क्लिन्ट इस्टवुड साह्रै रोमान्टिक देखाएको छ त्यो मुभी.
I think 27 movies हो कि त्यस्तै के छैन उसको nominations.
21 movies. So 21 options too. 21 options.
म त्यस्तै याद गर्ने भए त 21. Oh my god, into 10 हैन.
And 5 points. I think this one's probably easier to last wala चाहिँ compared to the Bollywood ko Madhuri wala one that's it. Okay, अब चाहिँ we'll go to the final segment, right? The final segment is called The End Game. The best answer will get a gift or a prize at the end of the season as well. I know. Ani eta चाहिँ I'm expecting a very deep answer. So the question is, why do you watch movies?
Very, very broad question, obviously, but like it's also a very deep question. I think the base of it is obviously it's a very therapeutic process to watch a film. It's sort of like a medium where you get to escape even for 3-4 hours, to slip into someone else's shoes and to sort of live their life from their perspective or like the perspective of the filmmaker. Us, humans, like love stories, right? All the time we're like just listening to stories or reading it or like, visual platforms are very powerful. At least for me personally, I absorb so many things visually. And it's able to trigger so many different emotions just because of a visual platform. Cinema ko एउटा screen हेऱ्यो भने, it's like a magic box and there's so much happening. There's so many layers, like, there's so much details. Just the details, it's so hard to capture, okay? Like orally or like, any other form. Even kitab पढ्दाखेरि, like there's so much you can tell through words, right? Visually, जसरी capture गर्न सक्छ, it's impossible to capture त्यस्तो खालको depth in any other medium, I feel like. So even for that 2-3 hours or like even if it's like a short films पनि त हुन्छ हैन, if you really tell a story well, the kind of emotions that it's able to trigger, more let's say I find that it's so therapeutic. But depending on what kind of films it is, right? Some films are like fantasy films or like nonfiction usually tends to take you to another world. But then there are also films where like they're based on true stories. And those kinds of films really helps you kind of process things as well. Like for me, like, I've watched a lot of movies on conflict, war films. हामीले काठमाडौँमा अब त्यति बेला सिभिल वार भइरहेको थियो हामी ग्रो अप गर्ने बेला त होइन बट अब हाम्रो प्रिभिलेजले वी डिडन्ट रियली एक्सपिरियन्स इट एज मच एज पिपल डिड आउटसाइड अफ काठमाडौँ होइन सो we don't really understand the complexities of like how conflicts affect people, how it is to be living in the middle of a violent conflict. All the emotions that I like think that people would feel comes from like मेरो experience of watching movies that focus on like conflict, war films, warma बस्दाखेरि कसरी suffer गर्छ मान्छेले, what kind of emotions they go through, everything that I know of it kind of comes from movies. That's why I even became interested in like learning about conflict. The war films are like fascinated, like, यस्तो suffering देखेर पनि why do people enter violent conflicts and things like that. So like, it's just the power of cinema, I think. The ability to like trigger त्यस्तो खालको emotions. It's a very powerful medium, but it's like, it's for every weather. So rain or shine or like, whatever. Films are there for every season. That's why I think I watch films.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Cecelia. I mean, there was so much I could sort of relate to and resonate, especially in terms of war movies. The way you related it to the conflict in Nepal. Trying to think of like really good conflict related movies. मलाई सेतु सूर्य र कालो पोथी दुईटा चाहिँ दिमागमा आउँछ. त्यो बाहेक अरु चाहिँ टलकजङ भर्सेस टुल्के probably was also. So त्यहाँबाट बुझ्ने सोसाइटी कस्तो थियो भनेर हैन त्यसरी सोचेको थिइनँ मैले. I think that's a really, really interesting perspective.
Alikiti, I think मलाई नै like there's so much interest to actually like make a film. Obviously there are already films like you mentioned, Kalapati, Setu Surya. त्यो बाहेक I still think there's so much stories that could be told Nepali films में that I hope somebody actually captures like about stories like मलाई नै like although I don't think I'm like well equipped or like skilled enough to do fiction films, but like at least documentary filmmaking through say I do want to enter that space where like I do explore general issues that we have. There's so many local stories that like really deserve like a visual space.
Yeah, and we have these amazing novels that can be made movies, which generally is not the trend in Nepal, but conflict stories have in a way turned into beautiful written creations, which I think are waiting to be told through the audiovisual medium. I mean, all the best if you're sort of planning that. I would obviously love to watch that movie. अनि अस्ति recently जुम्लामा जाँदाखेरि overtly romanticized गरेर I think the idea of like interacting with people who have lived the conflict to get to learn more from them. अनि त्यो सुन्दाखेरि अनि for most of them, wanting to forget everything that has happened, their process of coping or recovering is to forget. So before all is forgotten, to capture all of that, it is asking a lot for them to put in their emotional labor to not entertain, but like about the fact that those stories will be lost soon. With your feeling, written medium with a limited audience, long term history, the written medium ne bhancha tara short term ma aile politically change ल्याउनको लागि त audiovisual medium is so powerful नि त. अनि त्यही एउटा राम्रो मुभी एउटा कमर्सियल मुभी भन्दियो भने 15,000 जना जहिले मान्छे मार्यो भन्ने न्यारेटिभबाट पनि बियोन्ड जान सकिन्छ नि त.
Exactly.
So yeah, that is I think very powerful. And also like you mentioned that war movies किन मान्छेले बनाउँछ होला, like the idea behind it and that the story is so sad but people want to watch it. I mean, yeah, I was thinking of Saving Private Ryan is one of my favorite movies, but the politics is problematic in terms of only white characters and everything. Recently, it's in 1917, I think.
Oh yeah,
which I thought was really good.
Yeah.
Very innovatively shot, it's still lama scenes and the set कसरी बनायो होला जस्तो भइरहेको थियो.
मलाई चाहिँ त्यो एकदमै human element भएको स्टोरीजहरु एकदमै लाग्छ के जस्तै I don't know if you've watched The Boy with Striped Pajamas भन्ने.
I need to watch that movie.
So it's also I think Holocaust story ho. So it's about like two boys who like become friends in like a concentration camp. That movie also like I think it really stays with me all this summer pani like just the basic level nine.
Mm.
They're just these two boys who have no idea what's going around them, like no understanding of what the politics is behind all of this. Just how their relationship evolves and like what happens at the end. It's kind of sad. So, but like just the impact on like bachcha jasto मान्छे. Similar with about the pianist ko kura pani त्यही त हो नि. The Grave of the Fireflies, which is personally my favorite war film. It's just like the raw like impact of like how wars affect like normal people. That's the films that I find particularly ekdamai striking. Was I think similar, right? Is the stories of two boys who like
कुन चाहिँ भने sorry?
Kalapoti.
Oh yeah, interesting. Yeah, interesting. But there's also the cast element in Kalapoti, which is I think probably the most important layer of that movie ko लागि चाहिँ.
Yeah.
Conflict पनि हो, but I think the cast was I think hardly talked about Nepali movies ma.
That's true.
Ani I mean we're talking about like Holocaust related movies. त्यो Life is Beautiful भन्ने movie छ नि.
Oh yes, that's a
beautiful movie. कस्तो like I mean I guess more recently Jojo Rabbit आएको थियो नि हेरेको छ छैन?
Oh yes.
है?
Really good. Oh.
But I don't know. I mean, Taika Waititi एकदम मनपर्छ मलाई है. For me, like if you ask me which is the best, most entertaining Hollywood movie, I'd say Thor Ragnarok. Right?
Yeah.
So I think Thor Ragnarok is just अन्धा सपना अपना जति हेर्न सक्ने है. Yeah, and I think the fact that he made a movie like that, and then the politics behind it, like you're humanizing Hitler in a very sarcastic way, but the director is playing Hitler, and then it tends to be funny in a different way, but it's also very sad. Scarlett Johansson is my favorite actor, whatever, And that scene was just so heartbreaking.
Yeah. Oh, that movie was really good. I love the boy that plays it as well.
Right? The way I don't know propaganda functions and childhood innocence and simple relationships sort of mends it. In a way, oversimplification that propaganda can be easily swayed or like can be taken out by human relationships.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was nice. Okay. So Cecelia, thank you so much for your time. I had so much fun, and I think we have so much content for the episode.
I mean, really happy to be a part of this. When you mentioned movies, I was like up for it anytime. Glad we did this. Even doing this it was very therapeutic for me just to go back in time and think of all these movies that I've watched over time. So a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you again.
Of course.